This is
Oh
just
my
like a
goodness.
star trail shot, and it's a little bit of a longer exposure, and it's using light painting techniques. This is just like a layered technique where we would potentially put together, I don't know, maybe 50 photos together to kind of make this one image.
Yeah.
But
Can you describe that a little bit
Mhm.
to our viewers, just so you know what I mean? Like, it's insane. It is a lot of work with your vision of what you did to put it together
Yeah.
and layering the shots and putting it all together. Could you just explain a little bit more to give a little bit of insight what went into, just the planning as well as like the creation of this actual image we're seeing right here?
Right. So this, of course, it starts from an awesome location, right? So we actually went to Joshua Tree, California, in the middle of the night for this shot. We got the cool subject, which is the Jaguar F-Type, and we did a couple passes on the actual car with a light with long exposure. So that way we can kind of get very even light, and we can kind of get that light streak out of that line on the side of the car. So
Okay.
that's just shooting the car, right? So we took maybe 3 to 5 frames just for the car. Then next, we exposed the tree, the Joshua Tree, and the background a little bit with a flashlight over a period of maybe 30 seconds. That's another frame. Once that is all said and done, we got something in the bag. Then we start shooting the stars. What we do is we'll, depending on where you're shooting in terms of star trails, I think, for example, with this, we just did maybe 1 to 2 minute intervals exposures. That way it doesn't have too much noise. And that way, otherwise you get a lot of artifacts on a digital camera. You get a lot of red, blue, and green little dots. So we limit the noise, and then we just start shooting the star trails, one after the next, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. And when we think we have enough, then what we do is we put them all on one layer in Photoshop, and then we actually just add it in layer by layer until you get this. Yeah.
Wow. That's a powerful shot.
It's kind of interesting because when I see your shots, I think, oh my God, if I was in Zak's position, I would have literally died because I would just,
no way.
They would be like, oh, that was Larry's last shot. So, because I would be, the wave would be coming, right? The pipe would be coming, and I see the guy coming, and I would start shooting, and then it's like, all right, and then after that, Larry just drowned.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Canon, I lost Larry.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
man. These are insane.
Same thing, I guess, just more of like the lifestyle side of things. It's just, these are single frame shots where it's just, I see the car, I see the picture in my head, and I just snap the photo. Nothing too crazy, but it's just about waiting for the right moment, the right time, the right light. This is the same thing as the Jaguar, but this, we actually did something that I've never done before, and this is probably something you listeners should try. It's a little interesting technique. What we actually did was we actually strapped a light to a drone, and it actually, and it actually painted part of the horizon. That's why you could see, if you look at the background, you can kind of see part of the mountain, right? And also you could see it's pretty even light around the vehicle. It's because we actually used the light on a drone to do like a long exposure shot.
Very creative.
Yeah, and that red light was a complete accident. Somebody just drove by. So
I thought that was off the drone, so that works perfect.
Yeah, it worked out fine. Yeah, but with this,
that is
same thing. We exposed the stars in a different series of exposures, and we just kind of added it in. So much of this car photography is still working on your post processing, but if you see my photos, 90% of the stuff that I shoot is just right out of camera. I saw somebody ask if I really like to use the 200 millimeter f2. That's kind of one of the secret weapons in my arsenal. It's a very, very expensive lens, but you get what you pay for because there's no other bokeh like it. Like, this is pretty much straight out of camera. I just shot this in Las Vegas of my friend's Hakosuka with the 1DX Mark II with the
magnificent,
with 200 f2 just wide open. look how pleasant the bokeh balls are. Look how, like, how's it even possible that the shapes are just that uniform and that nice, you know? And if you really step back and you look at that image, you can see what's in the background is Las Vegas. The little green blob is the MGM, right? To the right is, I guess, kind of the rest of the strip. To the left is, you can just kind of see like the Las Vegas strip, like kind of defined. But
yeah, Larry, that's an amazing photo, dude. That is just, I mean, everything, the composition, everything. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah, like, for me, and then how long does this moment last? Even though the car's not moving, the light balance between the Vegas lights and also the tail lights and also the sun, it's just at this moment in time, maybe this lasted 10 seconds, if not, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, where the balance was this perfect. And I was just snapping away as much as I can, feverishly with the 200 millimeter. Yeah. Let's see, what's next? This one also is one of my, every shot is one of my favorite shots. That's why it's interesting. This, I shot in Spain at WRC. This was back in 2014. That's of Ken Block. And the reason why everyone's going crazy and the reason why everyone is like just so excited that this scene is happening is because for the actual race, you have to go into that little roundabout and you have to do one donut and you continue on, right? Of course, Ken Block being Ken Block, he comes in and he keeps doing donuts. And everyone's just going crazy because not only does everyone else, all the other drivers, while they potentially are faster and they go on to win, they don't put on a show like Ken does, Plus, they don't do as good donuts as Ken does. So Ken's doing perfect donuts around this roundabout, and he's making tire smoke, and everyone's crazy. Everyone's going wild. But a story that I haven't told about this photo, and I guess the behind-the-scenes story that I know between me and the Ken's team that I was actually traveling with, is that we nicknamed this area, we nicknamed it Poo Mountain. And the reason why we nicknamed it Poo Mountain is because everybody on that hill pooped on that hill that morning.
What?
Legitimately. Yeah. This because there's nowhere to go to the bathroom, and
no one wants to lose their seat.
No one wants to lose their seat. Legitimately, everybody on that mountain has been there all night, and I just showed up, and I'm literally stepping on human feces, climbing up there.
Wow.
Oh my
that's
God.
Commitment.
Yeah. So that's what I have to deal with.
Another level
to get a photo like this, guys. So yeah, it's
spectacular.
It's
we appreciate it.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's see, what's the next photo? And that's me and Jay, and it's F1. So this was actually shot during our Canon workshop, where he actually moved around cars for us. It was already crazy enough for Jay to allow us to host a workshop for the first time ever at his place, at his garage. But on top of that, I was thinking like, oh, cool, Jay's going to let us use this place. We're just going to shoot random cars just parked in their normal location. Yeah. Literally, Jay shows up and he's like, what cars do you guys want to shoot? I'm like, oh, you want to shoot the F1? You want to shoot this $25 million car? I'll just move it for you. You want to open the hood?
My goodness.
Yeah. So,
wow. That's some special access. I mean, your work speaks volumes to it, and just like the friendship, but also the character of who you are. You know what I mean? To foster a relationship like this is
it's just crazy because
quite special.
I grew up I mean, I think we're pretty much the same age, but I grew up watching him do late night. Like that's what I watched before I went to sleep. And it's so crazy to me after all these years that I get to work with him so closely. And we're just so lucky that we have access to it. Him and also his shop and his amazing cars. And we're also lucky in that he's willing to share it. he could just enjoy his cars by himself, you know. But the fact is,
absolutely,
with all of the students there, he was letting us like hold the titanium tools on the F1. He was showing us all the little things, like just all the little things that make these cars special. And the shooting stopped. It turned into story time with Uncle Jay, you know. We were all just surrounding him, and then we were just like wide-eyed, like, oh my God, like I can't believe he's just kind of telling everyone stories. To this day, you know, we've been able to do so much stuff with him. I've been on his NBC show, as you mentioned, and we've done so much work with him. But still, to this day, I just have to pinch myself being able to work with legends like Jay, and like yourself.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Between Sets. Make sure to like and subscribe to be tuned in on all future episodes. Thank you.